So even though I'm pretty excited about the expansion, the truth is that doesn't come out until the end of the month. And as stuff comes out, we're going to continue to cover that, card reveals, other news, etc. But we're still playing games, right? We still have the entire month of November. And I wanted to do what I've been doing, right? Do some videos where I just play 2 games on a deck. These are kind of like my playtesting videos, not true deck spotlights. And the monthly card was an Orc, you may have heard. I did a video kind of covering that when that was announced, and I wanted to try it out on the ladder, so we're going to try it in just traditional Orc Warrior. I say traditional, this isn't necessarily a traditional list, but this is a mostly mono-red Orc Warrior list. We're going to dive right in, play 2 games, and see how it fares. One of the things that I like about like mid-range decks in this game is that they tend to be pretty versatile, and a lot of times you'll have, you know, somewhere between like, you know, 3 to 5 slots where you can move things around and kind of change your game plan if you're seeing one thing or another on the ladder. So with this deck, for example, we're going to be trying the new card, but it could just as easily be Earthbone Spinner. Things like that. We're also not running Skaven Pyromancer right now. I'm instead running Withered Hand Cultist, but that could easily be switched around as well. Alright, we're playing against Battle Mage. Could be a number of different things, but we're going to pretend like it's Prophecy, and we're going to go ahead and keep this hand. We're going first, so I'm going to go ahead and mark this down on my old tracker here. This deck does not have any 1-drops, but we do, with the draw of the Withered Hand Cultist, have a good 2-3-4 curve here. If he plays a creature, our Dragon Tail will be potentially a nice 3-3 for us. Alright, so it does in fact look like it is an aggressive Battle Mage. Unknown whether or not this is true time to fight, or if it's Prophecy. The Afflicted Elit is oftentimes played in both just because of the direct damage it offers to time to fight. This makes me think it's time to fight. This right here.
I have no fear of you, cowardly
skeever. I mean, it could still be Prophecy, but right now, if I had to guess, oh, that is actually really saucy. Let me go ahead and put that there. So if he doesn't have like a Firebolt or... Oh, that'll work. So he does get to plow through there. Oh, and we draw another archer. Now, what's interesting is these archers might end up being fantastic for us because they're both guards and they ping, and it might allow us to actually like take control of this matchup in the long run. The downside is even though we have this massive 6-3 here, we don't want to race in this scenario. We don't want to, you know, we don't want to punish him and give him cards. We want to take control of the board. So we're going to go ahead and drop a Withered Hand Cultist to make the trade. Withered Hand Cultist is not necessarily a dead card for us here. If this is truly like Battle Mage time to fight, like I suspect, this could delay things like Raiding Party. Yeah, these, we're going to take some damage, but these might do some work for us.
We must protect.
So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Now, hopefully, we'll be able to save the second one, because if it's time to fight, he's probably running like Northwind Outpost, things like that, and this shines in those scenarios. But we also have to worry about one damage is one damage either way. Let's go ahead and do that. We do have to worry about, you know, dying, so anything that I play here is going to end up trading with us. We're certainly not going to attack and give him gas. I'm just trying to decide whether I want to lose this into this or lose a Mighty Ally. I think that this is probably the best option. If we can bleed him just a hair longer without dying, we should be alright. Because once we get a couple of these onto the board, we might be able to push for lethal. This is going to be the kind of game where We're assuming he's on time to fight and not prophecy, so we're going to try to get
Do not test me.
a critical mass and then swing for lethal. Oh yeah, this is most definitely time to fight, which is actually problematic for us in many ways. So we're going to take this trade, because it's a value trade. We're going to take this trade.
Come at me.
And then we'd like to start assembling our critical mass sooner rather than later. This potentially puts 12 on the board. This would be 6, 8, 9, 10, 11 on the board. So it's one less in that scenario. But this is hardier. And would allow for more value trades should he go over there. But we do have some of the pings as well. We're gonna go with this, I think.
Their defenses crumble. Their defenses crumble.
Splitting them because I do want the ability to trade over here if necessary. We might actually have to just play this and just poke him in the face just to have a guard over there.
There is plenty for all.
Interesting, he's running ambusher, so now I am moderately confused. We might just vigilante that for the trade here. In fact, I think we're going to. Again, just trying to slowly
There's nowhere they can hide.
slowly work our way in here. 13, 19. We're getting pretty close. We need to come up with 7 more damage before we start pushing for lethal. Should this survive, we can put him on the cusp. I don't want to do that because he might have another afflicted lit, but
Gore and glory.
alright, he's going for the face, and he might play this other card, which would tell us a bit about.
Stronghold.
Alright. It's kind of problematic because for this to trade, I have to give him a card. And I really don't want to. Like, even if I sacrifice this ahead of time, should this run this over, it still would be 3 more. And I would really prefer to not give him a card. So that was in fact a quality play. We are, I guess, gonna have to give him a card and go from there.
The silent guard with you.
We must protect our stronghold.
We're gonna shoot that so that that can trade, and then we're going to bang for eye
In unity. Come at me.
and put him on the cusp. And then just hope that with his 2 cards he doesn't have a way to burst 7. The double guards help, but because he's battle mage, that could in theory be like 2 lightning bolts, which is what I was trying to avoid. You don't want to give him 2 cards in this scenario if you can help it. But we do have, in theory, lethal next turn. If our board stays the way that it is, we have 18 on the board, plus the vigilante would be 22. In Battle Mage, he does not have a way to gain health.
There's nowhere they can hide.
Alright, so that will at least delay lethal. Next turn we'll be able to play both chargers. And with only 1 card, I don't think there's a way for him to be able to do that. Do 7. So we're gonna develop, kill his guy, pass. And then try to push for lethal next turn with the 2 chargers, because Really, at that point, the only thing that would stop us would be if he hits like a lot of guards, and I doubt he's running those, or 2 lightning bolts. So 2 lightning bolts are, in fact, the fear at the moment.
What an honor!
So we know we're getting at least 1 prophecy here. There's bolt number 1, which is rather unfortunate.
They're in my sights.
Well, moment of truth.
Guards with you.
And we did it. Good game. Good
It has
game.
been an engaging hunt.
Little bit of a little bit of a clencher there at the end when he hits the lightning bolt, but that is win number 1. So the new card did really well for us there. It provided us with some much needed guard and trading there. So again, I know when it was revealed, there were a lot of people that were skeptical. You know, you can look at that card and say, you know, for 4, it's not really that great stats. The ping may or may not be, you know, lackluster, but I believed, you know, again, it was going to be compared to like Hive Defender, and Hive Defender is, you know, a genre-defining card. Like it is like the control card auto-include anytime you're running willpower because it gets a massive amount of stats in guard. Wow, we went from being paired way up to paired way down. This is interesting. We're also going first again, and if this is like mid-range sorcerer, that could be a problem with our hand. We don't have a good way to take control of the field lane and snowball. So yeah, like Hive Defender stats, and then when you look at the Archer, you know, it's 3 less health, and the ping might not feel like it's comparable or good enough, but it really is. And the ability to be flexible and destroy supports, again, he didn't draw any in that last game, but had our opponent had a Northwind Outpost, that would have been legit. Alright, so this is clearly not a mid-range, more like a control. I think that's relatively apparent from the Ice Storm that was discarded.
Come at me. Their defenses
Also the Conspirator. So this is going to be an interesting sorcerer build. Likely trades with our captain, but if he has a Firebolt, he could trade the other spot. Here we're hoping for no lightning bolt.
Careful there, friend.
Okay. So again, our new guy gets to shine, right? We get to potentially protect our ally while also pinging here. Now, if he has a second Ice Storm, he's 1 Magicka away because of the presence of the ring. So we have to keep that in mind going forward. Alright. A little bit of a bummer. Actually kind of tempted to develop this just in case he does have the Ice Storm. Because then Ice Storm would not kill this, and then the chieftains could start bringing quality guys back, right?
They're in my sights.
So we're gonna go ahead and actually do that.
They will pay the blood price.
1 lightning bolt down means he has to have a second to kill this. We could have hit also like Mummify. This is a bit of a weird sorcerer build. I guess I shouldn't say weird, it's just uncommon to see a control-oriented sorcerer. So I developed over here because I did not want his Wardcrafter to be able to hit this and then set up an Ice Storm for the clear. Again, should he have it. In case you're wondering. This is actually a pretty quality draw for us. We're gonna go ahead and do this. So right now the Harpy bought him some time. If he had an Ice Storm, he can no longer play it because of this, so he's going to need something else. Does gain some health though. Right. So the firebolt gets there, but that's okay. We actually get a pretty decent turn out of this. This captain means that these guys swing for a little bit more. This chieftain gives us a card back while also pumping the squad. And then we get to come in for 10. So, Withered Hand Cultist again means Ice Storm is not an option at the moment. So he's going to need something pretty drastic to bail him out here. Master of Arms will gain him some health. Which puts him at 18. May or may not be enough, actually, because we've got 10, 17. This chieftain allows us to threaten for lethal. While also, again, getting us back a headhunter for the future. So we're going to go ahead and do that.
Enough!
We're going to go ahead and come in for that.
Come at me!
And there you go. So, as you can see, orcs are, I mean, they're still a great mid-range deck. They kind of had fallen off a bit because of the presence of token and so forth in the meta. Again, right now I'm running Witherhand Cultist because I've personally been seeing more control decks on the ladder. If you're running into a large number of like fast decks, token decks, you can trade those out for Skaven Pyromancer. That's kind of the beauty and the flexibility of a deck like this. But well, let's check out the rewards before we end. But the new card also does help dealing with the aggressive cards as well. So I think that kind of makes up for no Skaven at the moment. Yeah, orcs. Still great, still viable. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. As always, I love you all. Until next time, may you walk on warm sands.